just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by.
So Michele, you were so severely disabled that after we got your hips done, we did both of your knees at the same time because also the knees were so deformed that if I was to do one knee and not the other, I don't think you would have had an easy time walking. So
I wouldn't have been able to walk.
The idea was to do them both at the same time so we get them both straight at the same time so that you can walk. Tell us something about the recovery of the hips versus the knees and the level of pain and so on.
Hips are easier. Hips are a lot easier. But one of the biggest things I noticed after the surgery was my hips were kind of, I was in like a 90-degree angle 24 hours a day. I just couldn't straighten them, couldn't bend.
We call that flexion contractures. She was unable to straighten her hip out because the rheumatoid disease had made her like a pretzel, basically.
Yeah.
And because you were in the chair, it sort of supported that position, basically.
Yes. So one of the things when we did the hips, the first thing I noticed was the pain was gone. The bone on bone. And I had actually, you know, the head of the femurs had actually worn a hole in my hip socket, so we had to rebuild those. So the pain was gone, and I started getting the mobility back. And that was one of the things that surprised me. Every day was a little something extra. All right, let's do it.
Pull that out forward a little bit more there.
When I came to you, I appreciated that you were very aggressive and you supported the cause, and we did the right hip in the first month, and then we did the left hip the next month, and then we took a month off, and then we did the double knees. Yeah. And after the double knees, I spent 25 days in the hospital.
In rehab?
In rehab, yeah. I was able to get to the sports rehab, and I enjoyed every minute of it. It was very painful, very excruciating, but the goal of being able to get out of the wheelchair and to be mobile and to get my life back, for me, was worth that sacrifice, was worth getting up. When the physical therapist came in and I felt terrible, and they said, "Are you ready to go?" "Yep, I'm ready to go." And that goal was worth everything that I had to go through.
You know, I want to take a quick look at your knee to show people what the knee kind of looks like, if you'll let me.
Sure.
I don't know if the film can catch this. But when we started, Michele was unable to get that knee straight. In fact, it was kind of flexed. It must have been close to 90 degrees because she'd been in the chair for so long. So besides the knee replacement, which went in through this relatively small scar, we had to do a lot to the soft tissues to kind of re-stretch things. We had to tighten things that were loose and loosen things that were tight. And she's done a remarkable job.
You also, I remember, you shaved a little bit of the femur.
I had to shorten the femur just to get her leg straight because the bone was in the way. So you're actually a tall person to begin with.
5'10".
Yeah. So you may have lost a half inch when I did that, but it got your leg straight, and it left a sort of a baggy quadriceps that I had to tighten up a little bit. But that's,
I call it a quad tuck.
Yeah,
instead of a tummy tuck, it's a quad tuck.
Yeah. No, that's
but
great.
the quads are good now.
Yeah. Anyway, we did the hips and then we did the knees, and just tell us about your progress and how you've been doing.
I've been doing phenomenal. After we did the hips, or after we did the knees, spent all that time in the hospital, and then I had a goal of walking October 1st. I was actually asked to speak at a conference in Toronto, and they had called me like while I was still in the hospital, and they said, "Will you be ready to go by October 1st?" And I said, "Yes." I said, "I'll be there."
What were you speaking on?
Actually on web development.
Are you
social media.
working again? I mean, are you doing?
Oh yes, yeah. I was able to work the whole time. So, but it was really cool. I was asked to speak, and everybody at the event knew, I was there to speak professionally, but I also had this personal goal. I wanted to stand up and walk across the stage completely unassisted. And I ended up doing that, and the audience didn't know what was going on, but the staff, they're just crying. It's like I get to the podium and I'm like choked up, and I said, all right, I got to tell you guys what's going on. And so I shared with them my journey and what had happened, and everybody stood up, gave me a standing ovation, and they were just like, oh, this is great. And I was there 3 days speaking, and it was just phenomenal. Everybody was very supportive.
Any advice for somebody else maybe in the same position, or anybody who might need a joint replacement?
Do it.
You're gonna wear those sneakers out.
I know, that's why I had to get some bright ones so everybody could see me. Bye.
Can you turn too? Can you make a left?
I'm an ambi turner.
Wow. So Michele, we've made it this far. We're 6 months out. What are your goals for the future?
Dr. Koza, my next goal, and I don't want to make you sweat or squirm a little bit, but I want to be back snowboarding. So today is January when we're filming this, 2013, and I want to be snowboarding next month for my birthday.
You know, ordinarily, I would say that's not a great idea.
I could snowboard before.
On the other hand, if you have some assistance and somebody around to pick up the pieces, and you stay on the green bunny slope, I don't think I have a big problem with you trying it. I put in some pretty stout knees and hips.
They're all day. I just want to, top of the mountain, take a run down. And I will be a happy camper.
I want a film of that.
Oh yeah, I have a whole crew of people that are meeting me on the mountain.
Small mountain.
We're going to go up to Flagstaff.
All right. You know what? And I know you'll do it too. So
I am very determined. I'm very determined.
All right. Great.